this game is awesome. Honestly, I thought we'd already seen the best level design this year had to offer with the release of the new Doom game, but goddamn was I wrong! Whereas Doom specializes in creating incredibly intense, speed-based arenas built specifically to rip off arms and shove them down throats, Dishonored 2 specializes in creating living, breathing, expansive worlds. In this video, I'll be doing a breakdown of what I think makes these levels so damn good. Also, this is my first time doing this kind of thing, so hopefully you'll get something out of it. With that out of the way, let's jump right into the first section of my Dishonored 2 breakdown.
Gimmicks, but good ones.
Don't you hate it when games shoehorn in a mechanic for a single level that completely changes the way you play the game? That shit hardly ever works, am I right? The stealth level in Hotline Miami sucks donkey balls. The sniper section in The Last of Us is the goddamn pits. I cannot stand the giant Bloodborne brain. You get the picture. But this specific design choice, throwing a wrench in the gears of the user's playstyle, is something that Arkane has gotten down to a fine science. Every level in Dishonored 2 introduces something new, sometimes big, sometimes small. These constant new additions to the formula didn't rub me wrong once. Be it the witches, the timepiece, or that house that fucking eats people.
Extra diagnostic playback loop.
They're not overbearing. Arkane understands that plopping people right outside their comfort zone is an exciting thing, as long as everything the player loves about the experience is still present. Case in point, there's not a single level that takes away your ability to stab motherfuckers in the neck. There is one level in the game that I could see posing a problem to this argument, and that is a crack in the slab, a level that entirely takes away your powers to introduce a new time travel mechanic in their place. As someone who spent most of the time focusing on upgrading my powers, this was a little disappointing, but honestly, this level was such a goddamn masterpiece that I didn't even care. Since Arkane is going back and adding a new game plus to the game, maybe they'll give us the ability to play through a crack in the slab with powers once we've already beaten it. That'd be really cool, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. Another reason I give that particular bullet point a pass is because the timepiece basically functions as an entirely new power by itself. You're given the ability to time travel. You see your enemies through fucking space and time! Yeah, I'll fucking check my shadow bungee at the door for that shit. Man, the first time I made this transfer between time periods, I got sexual chills up my spine. I swear to God. Now that we're already talking about a crack in the slab, which is mission 7 of Dishonored 2, let's focus on it for a bit. This level includes the biggest temporary mechanical addition to the game, the aforementioned timepiece that lets you hop through various time periods of Aramis Stilton's estate. I can honestly see this level being a huge developmental risk. I can't imagine the time and money that went into creating a level that is actually 3 levels all being played at the same time. That's fucking intense. Either way, it was a risk well worth taking, as I think a crack in the slab stands out as the best mission in Dishonored 2, maybe even the whole franchise at this point. That being said, let's move on to the second most obvious example of new mechanics being introduced, the Clockwork Mansion. People have been busting fat nuts over this level since before the game even came out, and rightly so, honestly. I do not even want to think about the number of sheets of graph paper it took to fucking put this thing together. The most impressive part of the level to me is the fact that it manages to incorporate an entirely new enemy type to this sprawling puzzle of a home. Not only that, but Arkane manages to cram guard paths, passive NPCs, traps, and puzzles into this place. That would be enough for a level by itself, and that's before adding in the fucking moving walls. Watching these panels detach and adjust themselves is magical to watch, and it's made even more magical when you find out that you can fucking follow these panels into the wall as they're being switched out. And on that note, let's segue into the next section.
Attention to detail, boy.
God damn, this game is packed to the brim with fine detail. You can tell the developers just loved Karnaca and wanted to do everything they could to make this crumbling oceanside metropolis feel as real as possible. Something that really adds to this living, breathing feeling is the addition of neutral territories and passive NPCs, features that weren't all that present in the first Dishonored. These neutral zones allow you to wander around and basically not get fucked. What a novel concept. Having these open, carefree areas for exploration and experimentation really adds to the game, letting you get your bearings and prepare yourself for confrontations. Plus, it makes Karnaca feel like a real place where you could go outside without getting, say, stabbed, shot, or eaten by rats. Karnaca isn't Dunwall, and it's not Savannah, Georgia, and for that, I am thankful. These downtime areas are filled with plenty to explore, as well as passive NPCs that you can chat with, although they don't say much. The Heart is another optional interactive device, but unlike the previous mechanics I've mentioned, you have the Heart with you everywhere you go. You can point it at anyone in the world, and it'll tell you what kind of person they are. Spoilers, they're all shit.
He's always got some deal going to make an extra coin. He brings them to where they process the whales, once a body or two, compared to the enormity of those beasts. He needs to kill them tonight if he gets the chance.
Why is this in the game? No fucking clue, but I'm glad it is. Yet another aspect of this careful attention to detail is the differences between high chaos and low chaos. I don't really have much footage to showcase of the differences because I'm all murder all the time, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But aspects of the world change based on how stabby you are. I do have one example though because it's easy to demonstrate. On low chaos, a peaceful debate will take place on the Karnacan docks at the beginning of mission 2, but if you went ham on some necks in the first mission, that peaceful debate will instead be resolved with a large cutting implement. There's apparently a room that includes a woman who hung herself surrounded by blood flies on high chaos, and she and the blood flies aren't there if you're low chaos. You get the picture. The world is very subtly affected by your actions. Everything I've mentioned, the neutral territories, the passive NPCs, the heart, the high-low chaos differences, they're all small things, but they add up to one incredibly important thing, and that is...
attention to detail, boy. Verticality.
It's weird to play a game where you spend just as much time going up and down as you spend going left, right, and forward, but that's a huge part of Dishonored 2's design. Here's an experiment. Load up any one of your saves in Dishonored 2, any random point in the game, and see if you can far reach somewhere high up without moving from your spawn point. For me, this experiment had a 100% success rating, with every save I loaded up enabling me to instantly pop somewhere high above the streets like the goddamn Batman. I can't really think of any other games, especially level-based, that allow for that degree of freedom of movement. This experiment led me to the basic conclusion that nearly every step you take in Dishonored 2 can be taken elsewhere, above or below your current path. Of course, not exactly parallel to it, but you're going to be able to get around regardless. This verticality allows for multiple solutions to just about any problem you come across. If you get stuck on a room, just fucking look up and go there, try it that way. The autonomy that Dishonored 2 lends the player inspires a completely different way of thinking than most games do. It's a much more creative and improvisational experience. It's such a cool feeling to come at a problem and have it stump you time and time again, only to finally conquer the issue by coming at it from a completely different angle, maybe using a different power or weapon. That being said, I think that's a perfect way to jump into our next segment.
Play your way, as they say.
This is the big one. So big that it's become Arkane's fucking catchphrase.
The play your way philosophy, as we like to call it.
When you really get down to it, the heart of the Dishonored franchise and the level design therein is choices. We're not talking about your dad's, oh shit, which pipe do I take choices here. We're talking about choices every single second of gameplay. Dishonored 2's levels are designed so finely that you're making a decision with every new step you take, whether you're aware of it or not. I went through 25 random rooms in Dishonored 2 and decided to do some middle school math and take the average of how many entrances and exits there were in any given space. Because I feel like this video has to give you something fucking concrete and factual. My criteria for a space is a little sketchy because it's not like Dishonored's world is made up of stacked cubes or some shit. There's a very diverse palette of interior spaces. But yeah, my criteria for a space is basically an interior place broken up by doors, stairwells, windows, hatches, etc. However many of those were in the room is how I counted, and yeah, it's definitely a little sketchy. Either way, the rooms I surveyed were random and in the end totaled to an average of 6 entrances or exits per room. That's a lot of fucking places to go. And because there's so many ways to go, the amount of time one player will spend in a level versus how much time another player will spend in it can vary wildly. I watched my girlfriend play through the Clockwork Mansion slowly and methodically, and it took her around 5 hours. Me, I lightly searched rooms for secrets and clues, but mainly focused on getting shit done quick, and it took me about 2 hours. I watched my friend play it, and he beat it in 15 minutes. And then I went on YouTube and watched someone beat it in less than a fucking minute.
Jindosh. Temperature back to normal. Waking up. Waking up.
Welcome to the final mystery, Jindosh.
That range of times for just a single level is fucking mind-boggling. To loop back around, that is only possible because of the choices you're given. That insane amount of choices is reflected in the level design, giving you room after hallway after lobby after basement to explore, all with an average of 6 entrances and exits. Concrete facts. You want to be a smelly sewer sleuth and stomp through poop to get to your goal? Take a crack at it. You want to be an elegant shadow who ghosts your way across rooftops and hops right down on top of your foes? Go for it. You want to be the fucking Punisher and scope out your enemies with the heart before deeming them worthy of your terrifying godlike wrath? That is an option too. The sheer amount of playstyles and directional decisions that these levels are built to accommodate is what makes them such a joy to explore time after time. On my second playthrough of the game with Corvo instead of Emily, I happened upon new locations during every single level, and I bet that's going to continue through my third and fourth playthroughs. But having all these options at your disposal really means nothing if the world isn't populated with characters that react to your actions in an impactful way. No Man's Sky! Oh man, sorry, I had 60 wasted dollars stuck in my throat.
Reactivity.
Damn it, I have to pee, said every guard in Karnaca. If that's the case, why don't they piss themselves when I knock them out? 2 out of 10 unplayable, give me a refund! Reactivity is a key component of what makes Dishonored 2's levels feel real on a moment-to-moment basis. Sure, the enemies you'll face off against in Karnaca aren't the most reactive or visually savvy bunch, but it's a damn significant improvement over the first Dishonored. One of my favorite moments in the game occurred during Mission 4 in the areas before the Clockwork Mansion. If you wander into a certain area of the map, a group of howlers will jump you, making the terrible assumption that you will massacre every single one of them. I didn't feel like dealing with the howlers by myself, so I attracted some of the Grand Guard and brought them to this jump spot with me, and a fucking bloodbath ensued. I didn't have to do that. As a matter of fact, it's a much more arduous task not getting killed when there's double the assholes, but the fact that I could do it is a testament to the reactivity of this world. Yeah, having 2 groups of people murder each other isn't the most revelatory mechanic I've seen in recent years, even fucking Watch Dogs is doing it now, but Dishonored doesn't make it apparent like Watch Dogs does.
We've changed his profile to make a rival gang think that he's a police informant. The rival gang will come to this compound and take care of him for us.
This game announced in a fucking trailer that you can incite gang wars as a distraction, and that's cool, but it's a more exciting experience to figure something like that out on your own.
Things are heating up, so we're gonna have to improvise a little bit.
Arkane didn't tell me to bring these assholes together for a brawl to the death. That was my bloodbath. I made that shit. Or at least it felt like I did. This Howler gank group is positioned relatively close to another group of Grand Guards though, so I can totally see this placement being a conscious decision to make this encounter possible for the players who want to bathe in the warm blood of a fresh gang war. Point is, little things like this are everywhere, and it's not just with enemies. Shit like dialogue is reactive in Dishonored 2. On my second playthrough of the Clockwork Mansion, I snuck into the walls of Jindosh's place at the first available opportunity, and this happened.
Hello? Anyone there? Could there be some misfiring of the mechanism? No one then. Strange.
I wonder if that was there from the beginning. I bet not. I bet they playtested the shit out of this level and realized that they needed special dialogue to feed to their more advanced players. It feels like a reward. You do miss out on Jindosh's hilariously egotistical ramblings, but it's worth it to surprise the bastard and end his life before he even realizes you're in the goddamn walls!
Someone's living in the walls.
What?
Oh my god!
That is some clever-ass detailed design right there, and further enhances this already pungent feeling that the sky is the fucking limit when it comes to figuring shit out in this game. Side note before we move on, did anybody else feel like they were in fucking Arkham Asylum during this mission? I kept waiting for that jingle.
I'm Karen Jindosh, but you must know that.
Oh, wait, we're not moving on. I don't have anything else to say.